So guys, NIO is becoming a $1 trillion AI company thanks to the things that they showed off at NIO in just today. And I will be summarizing the whole entire 4-hour thing in just this roughly 10-minute video. All right, so I watched through everything. There's also a separate video for the NIO phone. If you haven't already watched that, please watch that. So first of all, NIO CEO took center stage and he talked about how there's global R&D footprint is massive with 11,000 R&D staff around the world. NIO has 9,000 plus patents, industry leader in terms of patents, and they invest a lot in R&D. He talked about how last year they talked about the NIO full stack, but now, right, with the ET9, it's already showcasing NIO's technology. ET9 has 17 world first technologies, so never seen before in any other car ever. 52 industry leading features. So this is like 52 features that are better than everybody else. And then 500 plus patents on that car alone. And right now they're continuously doing 900 volt high performance tests for that car, and it's ongoing and it's doing well. All right, he also quickly talked about the L60, how it has low energy consumption, and it showcases NIO's leading technology. And of course, this is part of their great R&D results. He talked about Gen 4 battery swap station, 2 minute 24 seconds for a swap, and also how NIO owners can always enjoy the newest battery tech in their cars with the 150 kilowatt hour semi solid state battery pack, achieving 360 watt hours per kilogram. Absolutely crazy. And also how NIO prioritizes battery lifespan with a target of 15-year with 85% battery health target. Then he talked about Nomi GPT and also the NX9031 NIO's Godbrain chip, with successful production runs on that as well. He showcased actually how capable this chip is in terms of image signal processing with the same camera sensor but different chip processing. So it's the NX9031 versus the industry standard, and it shows how NIO's chip has much better low light ISP performance. And then he talked about how can they improve efficiency both for the company and in terms of production as well. So to improve efficiency, he talked about how they used AI code generation, and that improved efficiency by 30%. AI powered service for the service team to help NIO owners in terms of any sort of assistance they need online. It has helped efficiency improve by 50%, and also in the factory AI inspection, capable of achieving 0.1 millimeter precision, and then also AI aided audio visual inspection, noise inspection, to make the cars basically perfect. All right, and then he talked about smart systems, assisted and intelligent driving, and they officially launched Sky OS, which is pretty insane. So just to put things into context, what is the Sky OS? Well, for the first decade, from like 2000s to 2010s, car infotainment used to use AutoSAR, which was basically like generalized software. And then it switched to Android and Linux based. Tesla uses Linux based software. All right, so it's all coded on Linux. But there has never been a full domain for in-car system with AI features. So, for example, the ET9 has 31 sensors. It has ultra bandwidth of 43.85 gigabytes per second. It needs ultra low latency. And then if they can improve reaction time by 30 milliseconds at 120 kilometers per hour, that's 1 meter earlier reaction time to, for example, to do braking, etc. And they've done 117 OTAs with 862 new features added. And then the cars must have ultimate reliability and the systematic information security with stronger privacy protection. So, and then he comes back to Sky OS, which is just their own Linux competitor. It's NIO's own built software which is a competitor to Linux. It's for AI powered EVs. Okay, so they have so many different technical jargon for this, and they have many different steps. I'm going to try to summarize as best as I can. They have SkyOS H for emulation, which is for virtualized hardware resource pool. So that improves real-time latency by 50% compared to Linux. And then SkyOS M improves system safety. And then SkyOS R is for driving. And in general, SkyOS versus Linux, which is Tesla based. So whenever I say Linux, you can imagine Tesla. SkyOS can achieve 113 times faster in light loads and up to 20 times faster in heavy loads. So this is, of course, their own code, their own software, right? You can imagine, Google made Android, and then there's also Linux, and then NIO made SkyOS, which is their own baby, all right? There has to be seamless fusion with the car and the cloud. They're able to achieve only 25 millisecond delay with the cloud. And of course, they have their own protocol, all right, to achieve this. They have an in-house developed protocol stack called TOX, T-O-X, which helps reduce packet loss to zero, even with high bandwidth transfer. So there's going to be a lot of data transfer between the car and the cloud. It's going to be well protected, but at the same time, they have their own protocol for this, all right? And then their own protocol versus the industry standard, which is called some IP. So apparently their own protocol has 50% better A/B reaction time, which is absolutely crazy. Next, they talked about Banyan 3, which is their next generation of AI-based software system. It's not just an UI improvement, it is just a massive AI improvement in general. So first of all, there's Intelligent Chassis, which is the first AI smart chassis, 4D smart suspension, which has already been released, and it knows where the bumps and potholes are on the road and adjust the car in advance. NIO is one of the first and only guys to do this, and there's already 150 million plus bump points registered. So throughout China, all right, there are that many available little bump points, and the car will adjust its suspension to smoothly go over those bumps and potholes. But now AI chassis can activate without navigation, and there's actually a bumpiness score available on models with dynamic damping control. And they've actually, thanks to this, they've really improved comfort. And they've added rear comfort mode, which improves comfort by up to 25%, reduces dizziness down by 10%. Overall comfort is up like 50% in general. Okay, and then intelligent applications. So there's millions of immersive songs. They've added Pro EQ with AI sound tuning app into the car. There's AI generated real-time tuning solutions. So you can tell Nomi, I want more bass for the song, I want higher vocals, etc. And Nomi will tune it for you live right there. And then there will also be like specific artist tuning if you want. For example, you're playing some Taylor Swift songs and you want vocals to be louder, then the car knows that for in the future when you play Taylor Swift songs, the vocals will be louder, which is pretty crazy. There's proprietary web apps that are going to be native on the NIO car. So inside the display, they're adding lots of mini apps. For example, Starbucks, McDonald's, KFC, a lot of Tencent WeChat mini apps can now be opened in the NIO screen inside the car, and it can also be activated with Nomi. So you can just tell Nomi, I want to order a Starbucks, and bam, you're gonna be able to get your coffee. Absolutely crazy. And then he talked about how there's Nomi emotional intelligence now. So free of wake-up words, you can talk simultaneously or consecutively with many people. So if there's like 4 people in the car or 5 people in the car, they can all chat with Nomi, and Nomi knows which one is who Nomi is talking to. And then for example, one person might have a discussion about like the train ticket, the other one might be like the NBA game. And so there's simultaneous communication that can happen, and then you can make dozens of commands in just one shot. And then he talked about a generative interaction architecture with leading human car interactions. So this is pretty crazy. So Nomi can help you find, for example, the closest parking area in the underground parking lot. And when it's hot, it can suggest to you like, oh, like go to this parking lot instead of that parking lot. And I can also tell you which parking lot is the closest to the shopping mall inside the parking basement. So it will tell you, hey, turn right, go to that parking area instead of going left because this parking area is too far or is further. And then Nomi can also summarize guardian mode, which is NIO's own sentry mode. If there's any damages and bumps, it can summarize it quickly and then tell you what's going on. And then very quickly, you can also tap on NIO service in one tap if you need NIO service. Absolutely crazy. And then he talked about how there's a Nomi discovery agent. So this is pretty insane. So for example, you're driving on the road and your kid asks, hey, what's that round building over there? Nomi will answer the question based on where the car is on the map and sort of the geographical feature, and they see that round building. Nomi will tell you what that round building is. That's a museum from the 1800s or da. Nomi will tell you that right there. So that's absolutely crazy. Nomi can also organize and find the best restaurants for you, near you. There's Nomi DJ, which can play music but also discuss about it. And so it can tell you about what the music is about and etc. There's 4K dash cam footage that can be edited, processed through AI into a short movie or video through, it's called Nomi Intelligent Film Creation. Also, it can do role play. It knows what hat it's wearing when you tell it that you're wearing a cowboy hat. So it knows in the future that it's a cowboy, and which gives a character, and it can also sing songs with excellent tune. So yeah, you heard me right. You can make a song and let Nomi sing it with excellent tune. This is pretty nuts. So Nomi is also like your in-car vocalist. And then quickly going through some of the NOP plus stuff. So NOP plus in terms of regulation and required tests, they're pretty easy for NIO in general, but they talked about how in complex real life traffic is just so different. There's cars everywhere and there's bikes everywhere. So they need to create an end-to-end A/B. And the biggest takeaway is that they're using AI to do predictive reconstruction because it has seen millions of scenarios of like similar situations. It can predict what the scenario might look like a few seconds later and then react accordingly. So it's using generative AI to picture what the next couple of seconds will look like. Absolutely nuts. And then in terms of world model and reconstruction, it thinks in a parallel world. All right. So every second that's happening, the parallel world is 3 seconds ahead. All right. It's basically it's thinking 3 seconds ahead with all sorts of possibilities. There's 216 possible trajectories per 0.1 second, and NIO's computing power, AI computing power, is thinking about all those possible trajectories every 0.1 seconds. Absolutely nuts. So it's thinking ahead and using AI to predict what the traffic will be like, where that car is coming, where that car is going, and that's absolutely nuts. So NIO is using AI to its fullest, and they're building their own proprietary software to challenge Linux, and it's actually better than Linux with less packet loss, and they're using AI in all aspects of the company. So this is absolutely insane.